What is up, YouTube? You know I mean business if I'm in this passenger seat right now. First off, I want you to dream so big. I want you to believe so much in your dreams that they are your reality right now. How big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail? Honestly, how big would you dream? At the end of the day, the only person that is stopping you from achieving those dreams is you. Today, I'm making this video to share my application results, what has happened this past year, because it has not been easy. It has been a roller coaster, but I'm here right now. I'm thankful. I'm feeling extremely blessed. I make this video, as you can see by the title, it says 7 acceptances. I make this because I want to inspire other individuals. I do not want to brag about how many acceptances that I had, X, Y, Z. It's so easy to get that impression after just looking at the title of this video and just saying, oh, this is a kid who wants to brag about how good his application cycle, because for me, that's most definitely is not the case. I took 4 gap years. I went through 3 application cycles. I was rejected by so many medical schools before I got that first acceptance. I took the MCAT 3 times. That last time was the darkest days of my life, because around that time I was involved in a very bad car accident that wasn't my fault. I was stuck on bed rest for 2 months. I dreamt about 1 acceptance. I prayed so hard for 1 acceptance, and it feels surreal that it's finally here. All I wanted was just one acceptance. That last MCAT attempt, I took it on 0 hours of sleep. I was in the testing center, overwhelmed, stressed, but at the same time, I wanted to give it my all, and I believed in myself. Without further ado, let's get into it. So I do have my iPad, courtesy of the medical school that I will be attending. Thank you so much for the free iPad. As you can see, I have my 2022-2023 MCAT timeline on the screen right now. I just want the main takeaway to be that I submitted my application very late. MCAT was verified August 10th. It's recommended that you get that in earlier. I mean, by no means take me as the model applicant. Looking back, if I were to do something differently, it would be to submit earlier, but in the end it all worked out for me. The application recap: so I submitted my primary application to 36 medical schools. 27 of them were MD and 9 of them were DO. At this point, I honestly didn't care whether I went MD or DO. I know some people are very set on MD. I know some people are very set on DO. At the end of the day, when you're done with your training, you're doctors. To me, it didn't matter which route that I took. So I ended up completing secondary applications for 28 medical schools. I had 87 pages of single-spaced essay questions. I poured my entire heart and soul into this application. My primary application, my personal statement, my secondary. If you took my name out of every single essay, every single page of my applications, you would still be able to know that was me. I made it so clear that this application was Tyler. This was mine. Every single aspect of me was reflected in those applications. I poured my heart and soul out into that. So I didn't submit 9 or I can't do basic math right now. I didn't submit 8 or 9 applications, secondary applications. It just cost so much. So I ended up spending probably $8,000 of my own money to submit those 28 medical school applications. And I ended up being rejected from 15 after submitting secondary applications. That was this cycle only. And I was very fortunate to be invited to 13 medical schools for interviews, and I attended 10 of those. I would have attended all of them. It's a lot, and at this time I was working. I had to pay back money for my application. I had to take time off work. I knew if I wasn't 100% going to possibly attend that school, I wanted to give somebody else a spot for an acceptance at that school if I knew my heart wasn't fully in it. And so from there, I interviewed at 10. I was accepted to 7. I had 2 post-interview rejections. So I was rejected by Rush Medical School and then Central Michigan University, their medical school. I was also on a wait list that I ended up withdrawing, and that school was UW-Madison. I was waitlisted January. I just withdrew from that school because I was already accepted at my #1 choice at that point. And looking at this chart, so the medical school interview invites received, so N equals 13. This was just when I received the interviews, emphasis on received. So looking at the next graph, the medical school interview attended, as you can tell, it's different from the previous graph because there's some schools that they will send you an interview invite, but it takes a month or 2 to schedule that. And I know UW-Madison was like that, and I forget what other school, but there was a few that took a while for me to actually have the interview after being invited. And then medical school acceptances, this graph, So I received my first medical school acceptance from the University of Illinois, my alma mater. This was so special to me. It was October 21st, so I was in the first batch of acceptances, and I will never forget my exact location when I received that acceptance. I was just with a friend from my undergrad, actually. We got Starbucks, we caught up. It will hold a very special place in my heart. UIC always will. And then after that, my second acceptance was Southern Illinois University. Again, amazing school. Had such a great time on the interview. It was a lot of walking and I was in a full suit. It was in person. I remember SIU walking around so much. I was so hot in the suit, but I still had a very enjoyable experience. And then my third acceptance was Medical College of Wisconsin, the Green Bay campus. So it was a 3-year MD program with, I guess it was accelerated, but it was primary care track. So I would finish my MD in 3 years and then I would be locked into primary care. Amazing school. Had such a great experience for that medical school interview. I loved it. I loved my interview. It was a panel of 15. And the hardest question I got asked during that interview was, what is something that you do to annoy your brothers because you have 3 brothers? It was very personal to my application, so I knew they read it, which was cool. All right, I actually got the temperature warning on my iPhone, so I had to take a little intermission. But my fourth acceptance was St. Louis University. I had one of the most incredible interview experiences there. I had a heart-to-heart with a nephrologist. She is one of the most inspiring people I've ever talked to. My fifth acceptance was Loyola Stritch School of Medicine in Chicago. It also was one of the best interview experiences that I did have. I was with the dean, a certain dean at this medical school. She was incredible. We honestly had a heart-to-heart conversation the entire time. Overall, amazing experience. She called me a week later to say that I was accepted. My sixth acceptance was Campbell Medical School. Campbell, which is in North Carolina, rural osteopathic medical school. My only acceptance to an osteopathic medical school after I was on the wait list for, I believe, 2 to 3 months. For me, it was much harder to get accepted into osteopathic versus allopathic MD school. And the last but not least acceptance is The Ohio State University, which is the medical school that I will be attending. The words cannot describe. #1 interview experience out of every school that I interviewed at. I felt special from the get-go. For The Ohio State University, it made me feel special because they had an intro slide with everyone, their name, their undergrad, and no other medical school even came close to that. We all had a cohort. We met with the dean. The dean was incredible. The colleagues that I had from interview day, I remember every single individual. There's some in my class, and I feel that closeness because we interviewed together and we matriculated together. There's 1,000,001 reasons why I picked The Ohio State University to attend for medical school. The collaborativeness, pass-fail classes, the emphasis on mentorship, the location. This is a highly ranked program for research. I knew that if I wanted to do any specialty, I would have all possibilities on the table going to The Ohio State University. I'm beyond blessed, beyond thankful that I will be attending my dream school and #1 choice for medical school, The Ohio State University. My advice to you is everything happens for a reason. Really trust the process. What is meant for you will never pass you by. If I were to watch this video 3 years ago and I had someone tell me that advice, I would disregard it. But after going through this process successfully, I wholeheartedly believe it. I want you to know that you are capable of anything. You can achieve anything you set your mind to. This week was orientation week. My colleagues are amazing. My white coat ceremony was phenomenal. I know for a fact I made the right decision. Always go with your gut. It's surreal. Surreal. If it is a dream, do not wake me. I am so thankful, so blessed. In the end, it worked out. I am where I am meant to be. I cannot thank you enough. I'm looking forward to sharing my entire journey throughout medical school. Please subscribe, please like, please comment. I read them all. Follow me on Instagram, Future Dr. Tyler, if you need any advice. I'm here for you. I want to hear your stories. I want to see you winning. Thank you all for everything. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. And thank you, Ohio State, for this iPad.